How's it going, Mike?
How are you guys doing?
Good, good, good. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with Lawrence Owen.
Hello, Mike. Pleasure to meet you. My question for you is coming in to the professional leagues from college, you walk into a very young wide receiving core roster, right, for the Indianapolis Colts outside of T.Y. Hilton. What's it like being there with all these young guys, but having T.Y. there as well?
Well, it's great having Ty there. Most of the guys look up to him. He's a great experienced wide receiver. He knows the ins and the outs of the game. So we learn from him. We build off of each other. We love coming in and being able to compete with each other. So it's great being all of us being together.
All right, next we'll go to Andrew Thomason.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking the time to be here. My question for you is there a player that you maybe watched growing up that you tried to model your game after?
Two players that I, kind of watched and studied growing up was number one, Calvin Johnson, and number two, Michael Irvin. And I've also had the opportunity to meet Michael Irvin, and those two players, they're great. They're in the Hall of Fame. So much to learn from them, especially what they did throughout the course of their career. And they're bigger type receivers, and that's what I am, and that's what I, study when I'm watching the game. So those two players is who I look up to.
All right, Cody Felger.
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this. My question is, coming from a D2 school already, how different has it been for you? And what do you think will be some of the biggest, challenges is the word, making that transition from D2 now to the NFL?
It is a big transition, but it's nothing that, I can't handle. I love being here. I love the competition. It is a higher level, so it's just being able to come in and, learn everything quick and be able to compete on this high level. But, that's something I've been doing so far, and, I don't plan to stop.
All right, Destin Adams.
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this. And I think the biggest thing that everyone has said about you ever since you were drafted is your size and how big of an asset that's going to be to your game. What's another area of your game that you think is really going to help you at the next level?
My speed, definitely. I'm more fast than what people think. I have the ability to move, use my size to my advantage, and come in and out of my breaks. So my speed is definitely something that I use to my advantage also with my size.
All right, Jeremy Swopes.
Hey, Mike. Nice to see you. Thank you for your time. Being new to the Colts and new to the community, what do you think is something, and this isn't so much as a football question, is what do you bring to the community that we don't already have here?
I'm a great guy even off the field. I love being able to interact with, fans, people who look up to the Colts, and just being a great guy even off the field, being somebody who's motivating, easygoing, and just representing the Colts in a bigger way.
Okay, Stephen Burton.
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this. So I'm curious, you were kind of utterly dominant the last year you were playing at Charleston. What were you able to do last year with the season being postponed to the spring and not really having football activity to do during the fall?
I was able to get, a lot of one-on-one work, especially at my position, being able to better my route running, being able to, to touch up on a few details when it comes to, my position specifics. So I was able to get a lot of work in, even on my own. I had a lot of free time, so I was able to go out, do some footwork, do a lot of extra catching, and it made me better. So I never stopped working when I heard, our season was postponed or canceled, sorry. So I just kept working.
All right, we'll go back to Cody Felger.
Michael Pittman also is a guy that's known for his size, right? And more of a guy like that. I'm curious if you've had a lot of contact with him already. I know he just had a kid, but how much have you kind of picked his brain already on the transition to the NFL and just, you guys using similar styles there in terms of your body size?
Yeah, he's a pretty good receiver. He's also somebody, some of the guys look up to, and, you know, I also watch him because he, like you said, like you mentioned, he has, you know, the sort of the similar size as me. So I watch to see how he runs his routes, how he makes different plays in transition, you know. So he's a pretty good receiver and somebody, you know, you could look up to.
All right, and then we'll finish up here with Lawrence.
So I have a question about what you work on most when it comes to improving yourself as an athlete. Do you find your strengths and try to make them stronger to make you more impossible in to cover in that situation, or do you look for a weakness that you might, or deficiency, mind you, that you try to bring up to make yourself a more complete receiver?
Well, I'm kind of both. I take my strengths and I take them to another level because your strength is your strength. You have to keep those, you know, up to where you need it to be. But also, I work on my weaknesses. You know, whatever the case may be, I come out, you know, and I just work on it and see if I could, you know, get better all around.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mike.